Hello, UIC. Great, thank you. And thanks, Nick and the members of the UIC Pep Band. You guys are rocking. Good job. Good afternoon, distinguished deans and faculty, staff, students, and guests. I am Teresa E. Mintel, and I'm the Interim Vice Chancellor for Public and Government Affairs. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 4th Annual State of the University of Illinois at Chicago Address. We are here today to celebrate our great institution. Just 54 years from the founding of the Circle campus, UIC has emerged as a global leader in the field of post-secondary education. It is with great pride that I serve this institution and all of you who make this the amazing place that it is today. In just 5 years, Chancellor Emeritus's energy has created momentum and excitement around our legacy of diversity, student access, and academic excellence. And in a few minutes, we'll hear from him about his thoughts on UIC's future and the opportunities that lie ahead. But we all know that one person can't really run the machine that is UIC alone. It takes a special partner, and that would be the Chancellor's wife, Arrow. Arrow, we'd like to thank you for all that you do for UIC to support our Chancellor and to be just such an amazing presence on our campus. In addition to Arrow, there are a number of people who really help the Chancellor and really all of us succeed. I would also like to acknowledge a couple of elected leaders who are here with us today. Speaker Madigan, Speaker of the Illinois House of Representatives, thank you. And Justice Michael Hyman of the Circuit Court of Cook County. Thank you for being here. I would also like to thank the members of the university's leadership team for being with us today. It is an honor serving with you and being part of our collective contribution to UIC's growth. We also have some civic and community leaders here. To each and every one of you, I extend our heartfelt gratitude for all that you do and continue to do for UIC and our students. We all know that UIC is a jewel in Chicago's crown. It is up to each of us to keep this a great university where our students go on to be doctors, social workers, teachers, researchers, artists, and now even lawyers. Thank you for that one. And today is a unique opportunity for each of us to get a bird's eye view of our great university. So let's take a quick look at a brief video we put together that sums up the year's highlights. Pretty awesome, huh? And I'd also like to acknowledge that Senator Omar Aquino has arrived. So, hello, welcome, thanks for being here. And now I'm delighted to introduce Susan Panic, our student trustee. Susan is a senior in biological sciences. She is involved in Women in Science and Engineering and the Society of Future Physicians. Susan's pretty amazing. I think you'll find that when you hear from her remarks. So please join me in welcoming her to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to stand here before you all as the student trustee from the University of Illinois at Chicago. It's a position that I can only describe as one that has been and really truly continues to be a tremendous labor of love for me. Although I've been in this position for really only a few months, I was immediately welcomed and very warmly embraced by all of the individuals from the Board of Trustees, all the way to the individuals from the U of I system, including the University of Illinois at Chicago. But the warm welcome that I received at the very beginning was not a surprise to me. I joined the University of Illinois of Chicago 4 years ago as a first-year student, a freshman, and first in my family to pursue university in the United States. And I was welcomed also, very similarly, in a warm manner. But prior to the first day of classes, a day I remember very fondly was attending the university's convocation. So for the students, several of you already know that this is kind of our graduation in reverse. It's the graduation in reverse specifically for the incoming cohort of students. And as I sat there in the Credit Union One arena amongst all of my other students in my red UIC convocation shirt, which I always, I'm so proud to say that I still have, I was so excited, really looking forward to all of the beautiful things ahead. I made myself 3 promises. The first was to really make the most out of my university experience. The second, to serve and advocate for all of my students and really contribute to improving the U of I system. And third, to bear the torch and light the flame at convocation, something that I was super excited about. And I'm fortunate enough to say that I actually had the pleasure and chance to do this year. But of the 3 promises that I made to myself, the one that I'm really hoping to speak more in depth about today is Promise 2. As kind of was already mentioned, I've had the privilege of serving my fellow students in an array of ways, from president on different executive boards to student representative on different committees. And I'm grateful that I have been able to have every one of those opportunities, as they really prepared me for the role within which I serve today. It's one that enables me not only to serve my students and represent them, but contribute to improving and advocating for the U of I system. And I know that you all share that same commitment towards UIC, which is why we're here today, to discuss and to celebrate our accomplishments, our challenges, and also our future plans. But before we begin this discussion, I want to introduce Dr. Catherine Vincent. Dr. Vincent is an associate professor in the Department of Women, Children, and Family Health Science, and she's also the associate dean for academic affairs in the College of Nursing, where she teaches the PhD graduate nursing theory course. Her research addresses the challenges of unrelieved children's pain. She has also served on the UIC Senate from 2006 to 2009, and then from 2011 to the present now. She began her 4th Senate term in 2017. And she also served as the College of Nursing's representative on the Senate Executive Committee since 2011, has been the presiding officer of the Senate from 2012 to 2014, and has been chair of the Senate Executive Committee and secretary of the Senate since 2014. So now, without further ado, please help me in welcoming Dr. Catherine Vincent.
Thank you. She's going to be a tough act to follow. Michael Amaritas has led the University of Illinois at Chicago since March of 2015. And I have to say, it's been over 4 momentous years. Many of you know me. I have served on the faculty in the College of Nursing for 14 years. I serve on the UIC Senate. And I've seen this university grow up. But I have never witnessed an institutional growth spurt. And that's exactly what we have experienced. We are over 33,000 students strong, an outcome of 5 years of record-breaking enrollments, while the state was mired in budget fights, 2 of those years without any budget. Most state colleges and universities were seeing enrollment declines, and yet UIC's momentum increased. As Chancellor Emeritus likes to say, students vote with their feet, and they're choosing UIC. In the last 2 years, we have broken ground and cut ribbons on buildings and labs all across the university that have put us at the forefront of innovative living, learning, teaching, and research in the nation. And in fact, UIC is the first of the 3 universities in the system to form a public-private collaboration, referred to as a P3, bringing to life one of the early cornerstones in Chancellor Emeritus's strategy, to push our culture to be more innovative and entrepreneurial. The outcome was the beautiful academic and residential complex on Harrison and Morgan. Chancellor Emeritus has continued to press for strong and ongoing engagement with community and civic organizations and corporate and elected officials to discuss how UIC's strengths and resources are beneficial to Chicago and to the state, and how we can leverage our strengths to increase our impact locally and globally. Chancellor Emeritus serves on the board of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, the Coalition of Urban Serving Universities, the Chicago Council on Global Affairs, and the Chicagoland Chamber of Congress. As in any institution this big and complex, there are always challenges along the way, and we have faced several. However, UIC's upward trajectory feels more solid than ever. So it is with pleasure that I have had this opportunity to share my sense of how UIC looks today and to welcome Chancellor Michael Emeritus for his State of the University address.
Thank you, Kate. I'm thinking about quitting right now while I'm ahead. After this introduction, I don't know what can I do to do better this afternoon. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your interest in the current state and the future of the University of Illinois at Chicago. As most of you know, and if you didn't know, you heard it already, I arrived at this university in early 2015 at the beginning of the worst budget crisis in the history of public higher education in the state of Illinois. At the peak of the crisis, in the spring of 2017, in this same State of the University address that we had at the spring at this point, I told you that to advance UIC, we had to escape forward. Escape forward with pride for our accomplishments, with a renewed conviction to our public mission, and with a spirit of innovation and excitement for the future. And boy, did we escape forward. We broke barriers and records, and we emerged stronger than ever before as our core values and our strategic priorities guided our run for the future. Today, we have built a strong momentum that is the envy of higher education in this state and in the entire region. Along this journey, each one of you has contributed in different ways to making student experience and success a top priority, to elevating our national and international reputation for research and scholarship, to enhancing our engagement through a closer alignment with institutions, businesses, nonprofits, and communities that make up Chicago, and to creating a more nimble, entrepreneurial, and sustainable university in support of our mission. Let's put the facts together. This fall, for the 5th year in a row, we enrolled a record number of students, bringing our total enrollment to more than 33,400 students, an increase of more than 5% over last year, and nearly 20% over the fall of 2014 enrollment. At the start of the 4th semester, as we welcome our newest students and their families to our annual convocation and picnic for the incoming class, I couldn't help but thinking that every university would love to be in our position. They would also like to know how and why. And the answer may sound simple. It is quality, it is value, it is our campus environment, and it is our location. but it is extremely difficult to duplicate the unique institution that all of us and our predecessors have created here in the heart of Chicago. And the growth will continue, because what we are offering is in great demand. Just 10 days ago, more than 10,000 prospective students and parents visited campus for the UAC Open House to get a taste of what we have to offer. At the same time, we have remained accessible to those who need the social elevator of higher education the most. The majority of our student population relies on financial aid to meet their goals. More than 50% of all UAC undergraduates and more than 60% of new incoming freshmen receive Pell Grant support. Furthermore, nearly 60% of our undergraduates receive MAP funding, making us the largest recipient of MAP funding in the state of Illinois. Mr. Speaker, Senator Aquino, on behalf of our students, we're very grateful to the state for increasing MAP funding this year. That was a wonderful piece of legislation. In total, every year, we award more than $140 million in grant and scholarship aid to our students, which includes federal, state, and over $57 million of our own institutional funds that we put towards scholarships. We are proud to be the social elevator school for our students and graduates, and we are proud to remain true to our mission. We have also implemented scholarship programs to assist some outstanding students from middle-class economic backgrounds. The new Chancellor's Fellows and Provost Fellows programs, the difference between the two is that the Chancellor's Fellows, of course, get more money than the Provost Fellows. They utilize matching funds from the state's Aim High program, which in my opinion is also a great piece of legislative work. In this first year of the Aim High program, 250 Chancellors and Provost Fellows enrolled at USC as freshmen, and I'm confident that we have made a difference in retaining these 250 high achievers in Illinois. And through creative partnerships, such as the naming agreements for the Credit Union One Arena and the naming agreement for the Doring Forum, where we are today, through these partnerships we are making the case that support for additional scholarships at UAC is a top priority because both agreements had scholarship money involved. We're also proud for the role that the UAC community played in successfully advocating for the RISE bill, which Governor J.B. Pritzker signed into law at UAC this summer. The RISE bill makes undocumented students eligible for MAP grants and institutional aid at public universities in Illinois. The same is also true for transgender students, regardless of whether they register for selective service. This is right, this is fair, and I was glad to see it signed into law here at UAC. Finally, thank you, Amalia. I think Amalia started clapping first. I know she has put so much time into this effort. Finally, it is through scholarships that we managed to advance some small-scale but high-impact programs, like UAC's Call Me Mr. program through the College of Education. This program is designed to train more male students of color to become licensed elementary school teachers, who will not only teach, but also serve as role models in their communities to positively impact the lives of children here in Chicago and across the state of Illinois. As our national and international reputation continues to grow, we are also experiencing a significant growth among our undergraduate international students. Our partnership with Shoreline, known here as UAC Global, has boosted our international undergraduate student enrollment to nearly 1,600 this fall. Let's make something clear. These students do not replace, but they supplement our in-state students and open windows to the world for them. And I don't think it's a coincidence that at the same time, our study abroad programs and the interest of studying abroad has grown rapidly. What is interesting is that the overall demographic data for our students who study abroad are counterintuitive and reflect the diversity of UAC. What I mean by this is that more than 60% of our study abroad students identify as underrepresented minorities, more than 60% of them are the first in their families to go to college, and more than 75% of them receive federal financial aid. So why do they go abroad? Because these numbers, which define conventional wisdom, are in part due to more than 1 million in study abroad scholarships that we have managed to put together and we are providing. This also includes a generous support by United Airlines, which covered the travel expenses for 50 of these students last year, who went to 26 countries in 5 continents, alphabetically ranging from Argentina and Australia to Turkey and the United Kingdom. With our growth in enrollment, we needed to find new ways to accommodate the needs of our students. The opening of the academic and residential complex that you saw in the video may be providing beautiful skyline views from the dorm rooms as an added perk for the students, but more importantly, it sets a new standard for state-of-the-art classrooms on our campus, in the University of Illinois system, and across the state. If you haven't visited these classes, you should. There's something different than what you're used to. Giving our students real-world experiences to expand their classroom learning is also critical to attracting and preparing the students of tomorrow. The standards that our colleges of engineering and business have set in this area for years now are noticed across the country and here on campus. And the opening of the new complex gave students in the College of Business another opportunity not only to operate, but also to manage a small business, such as the newly opened coffee shop there, which is managed and operated by our students. This fall, we are also opening 3 new healthcare simulation centers in the colleges of nursing, medicine, and pharmacy. These new facilities are the gold standards for training students and healthcare professionals in clinical, communication, and decision-making skills before they start interacting with the patients. And having visited one of them, and we're cutting the ribbon on the other 2 next week, I can tell you it's almost scary what these mannequins can do and how they behave. So how do you beat this kind of learning experience? Well, another example probably can beat it when you are aboard a Swedish icebreaker vessel in the Canadian Arctic. Not necessarily easy, as we found after a couple of unsuccessful attempts in 2017 and 2018, but 5 USC students made it this summer and recently returned from the Northern Passage Project, a research expedition where they collected water, ice, and air samples to improve understanding of the effect of warming trends in the Canadian Arctic archipelago. The students from USC's Department of Biological Sciences were supported actually in this work by the National Science Foundation and the Hastings-Simmons Foundation. So there's no doubt that USC students are talented and inspiring, and many will make great contributions to our city, to our state, and to the world. Each year, I'm impressed by the number of them who are selected for highly competitive scholarships and awards across the country. UIC had 3 Fulbright finalists this year who will conduct research, study, or teach English abroad. Melissa Hendrickson, an alumna who earned a master's degree in museum and exhibition studies in 2017. Zuka Jude, who graduated this past May with summa cum laude distinction and bachelor's degrees in political sciences and Germanic studies. And Frankie Lyons, a UIC doctoral candidate in history. 2 UIC students were also named Goldwater Scholars this year. This is the most known undergraduate award for STEM talent in the entire country. Anis Barmada, who is majoring in biological sciences and chemistry, and Wasam Kumar, a neuroscience major, are among 490 scholars selected from every university in the country through a very competitive national field. We can say with confidence that these are among the top 500 best STEM undergraduates in the entire country. And finally, Nicolas Robledo, a finance major, continued the tradition of UIC in terms of Newman Civic Fellowships this year. We have had one of them for many years in a row. A special group among our student athletes, also represent the university on the athletic fields. And last year, the Flames enjoyed tremendous success in competition. 4 of our teams won the Horizon League Championships, affording dozens of student athletes the opportunity to appear on the national stage during NCAA play. Under the direction of head coach Sean Phillips, last fall the men's soccer team made it 3 championships in a row for the first time in the program's history, and knowing how they play this fall, I think it will be 4 in a row this year. In the spring, UAC alumna Lynn Corillo's softball team won its 5th straight Horizon League championship, while the baseball team, under coach Mike D, who has been here over 20 years, won the conference tournament and earned a berth in the NCAA championship for the 2nd time in the last 3 years. Finally, our women's tennis team dominates the league. Once again, they won both the regular season and the conference tournament, and under head coach Shannon Tully, they have collected 20 league championships. So the most of any team in our athletic department during their history. As a whole, the athletic department led all Horizon League schools in the 2018-19 Division I College Directors Cup standing, which of course you have no idea what that means. What it means, it's basically that we're the best in the league. That's what we say in much fewer words. The accomplishments of the Flames in the classroom were equally impressive, with 43 student athletes here at UAC recording a 4.0 GPA last year, and 115 of them being on the Dean's List. And following a decades-long tradition, the Flames also found time to log in hundreds of community service hours as well. In addition to the students, an equally important measure of the success of a university is the success of its alumni. So allow me to brag for a minute about the success of some recent graduates. This year, Bing Louis, a 2011 graduate, was nominated for an Academy Award for his documentary, Minding the Gap. In our opinion, he should have been the winner of the Oscar, and we're not biased. Ivelisse Rodriguez, who received her PhD in 2006, was a finalist for the National PEN/Faulkner Award for fiction for her book, Love War Stories. That's the top literary award that you can get in the country. And best-selling science fiction and Marvel Comics author, Nnedi Okorafor, who received her master's in 2002 and her PhD in 2007, was extensively featured in the Chicago Tribune, and they call her, and I'm quoting, the next big thing. 2 of UIC's alumni, Haven Allen, Irina Shah, were recognized in the most recent Crain's 40 Under 40 list, while 2 more were also recognized in Crain's 20 in their 20s list. Maurice Goodman, class of 2013, with a bachelor's degree in finance, and Moira O'Connor, class of 2017, John Marshall Law School. They all make us very proud. And speaking of law graduates, this year we welcome to the family our 16th college, the UIC John Marshall Law School. This is a big deal for Chicago and for UIC. It took 3 years and extraordinary work by many individuals at both ends to make this a reality. Integrating John Marshall into Chicago's public research university is a perfect match, creating Chicago's first and only public law school. And when people ask me, what's the big deal in having a public law school in Chicago? I point out that a public institution guarantees access to an affordable legal education, and it also guarantees a scholarly and service focus on the critical legal issues of this city and this state. That is what the big deal is. John Marshall has a long history of providing access to students from underserved populations and of serving the Chicago communities by providing pro bono legal services through 9 community clinics, focusing, among others, on veterans law, fair housing, and family law. So John Marshall was the perfect match for UAC, and we are delighted to have them at UAC. And if all this sounds exciting for the academic arena, just wait to see what's happening this coming year. as our provost leads the process of a revision of our core curriculum with unique characteristics for UIC, as we continue to renew our infrastructure and move into the construction phase of a new computer science building, a new advanced chemical technology building, and a much-needed renovation of the student centers, and as we introduce new degree programs in several colleges and a brand new department of real estate in our College of Business. Of course, none of this will be possible without the right leaders in place. At the university level, we have continued to recruit innovative thinkers who will help transform our university and prepare us for the future. This year, we welcomed T.J. Augustine, Vice Chancellor for Innovation, Joanna Groden, Vice Chancellor for Research, Mark Rosenblatt, Executive Dean for the College of Medicine, Rebecca Ragg, Dean of the College of Architecture, Design and the Arts, and Tom Wamsley, the most recent addition, Vice Chancellor for Advancement. But most importantly, since the last State of the University address in April of 2018, we have hired approximately 300 new full-time faculty members, half of which are either tenured or are in the tenure track. And this is very important because it is our faculty and staff members who address the educational needs of our students. It is our faculty and staff members who are engaged in our communities, and it is our faculty and staff members who advance our reputation through research and scholarship. I'm really proud of the large number of them, ranging from the health sciences to the humanities, who have been honored this last year by their peers and professional organizations for their achievements. Faculty members like Mark Grabiner, Professor of Kinesiology and Nutrition in Applied Health Sciences, who received the Borelli Award, the most prestigious honor given by the American Society of Biomechanics. Like Laurie Reynolds, Assistant Professor of Art in the College of Architecture, Design and the Arts, who was one of 8 people internationally and the only one in the United States to receive the Soros Artist Fellowship for her work in civically engaged art. Like Dick Simpson, Professor of Political Science in Liberal Arts and Sciences. Everybody knows Dick Simpson. Dick won the Lifetime Achievement Award given by the American Political Science Association. Like Luis Uria, Distinguished Professor of English, who was named a Guggenheim Fellow by the John Simon Guggenheim Memorial Foundation. Like Michael Pagano, Dean of the College of Urban Planning and Public Affairs, who was presented, I think very recently, with the Aaron Wildavsky Award, a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Association for Budgeting and Financial Management. And like Dr. Terry Vanderhoek, Chief Medical Officer of our hospital and Chair of the Department of Emergency Medicine, who this year received the Physician of the Year Award from the Chicago Medical Society. The Physician of the Year in a city of 11 million resides right here at UA Health. It is through the hard work of these and 100 more faculty members that UIC is one of 130 universities and one of only 4 in Illinois, recognized nationally by the Carnegie Foundation in its top category of research, what we call a Research One institution. With over 370 million in sponsor awards for fiscal year 19, we are ranked by the National Science Foundation in the top 45 public universities in the country. And every year, our faculty members continue to lead significant research initiatives and large multi-million-dollar programs that elevate UIC's and Illinois' national and international reputation. Some of the most visible examples from last year include Terry Vanderhoek's. We were talking about Terry just a minute ago, right? This is the Physician of the Year. Terry Vanderhoek's $2.8 million NIH grant to evaluate the efficacy of 2 drugs that may boost cardiac arrest survival. Jerry Krishnan's $14.6 million multi-center research project to determine which of 2 drugs is the most effective at treating chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Mark Schlossman's $14.1 million NSF grant, we're leaving medicine now, we're going into the science, $14.1 million NSF grant to expand the experimental capabilities at NSF's Chemistry and Materials Center for Advanced Radiation Sources, Angela Ellison's $4.7 million Healthy Start grant from the Health Resources and Service Administration to reduce health disparities experienced by women and children living in historically underserved and marginalized communities, and Alison Castro Superfine's $4.7 million NSF grant to improve K-8 math instruction in the southern suburban schools right here in Chicago. If you do the quick math, $40 million in federal funds coming to Illinois just for these 5 projects. What is also important to highlight is that UIC faculty have an outstanding track record of bringing the results of their work and scholarship, research and scholarship to practice. UIC right now has 3 major therapeutics on the market today, including an anti-HIV drug, a bladder cancer drug, and a vaccine against the shingles virus. This is the blockbuster vaccine that appeared 2 years ago in the market. Revenue generated from these drugs, in terms of royalties, will exceed $40 million for UIC in 2019, which places us among the top 15 universities in royalties income in the country, and we are challenging right now Northwestern for the top spot in the state of Illinois. These funds are reinvested to support our research programs and to support our infrastructure. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The UIC Office of Technology Management currently manages 280 active licenses and 450 active patents, and is home to 34 active startups. And these numbers do not include all the applied work that our faculty members do in the social sciences and the humanities, where impact is not measured by dollars and patents, but impact is measured by studies and reports and the changes observed in the local communities. Our success in translational research is locally and nationally recognized. This year, 7 UIC scientists from the College of Medicine and the College of Arts and Sciences were included in HALO's 40 under 40 list for their excellent work in this field. Their projects range from developing a safer therapeutic for the most common childhood cancer to discovering antibiotics from bacteria collected in our lakes and oceans. And just a few months ago, Deerfield Management committed $65 million in translational research funding, as well as their commercialization expertise to advance promising UIC discoveries. UIC became one of 10 academic institutions in the country to launch such a partnership with Deerfield, and we are in the company of the creme de la creme in therapeutics research. We are together with Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and MD Anderson in this type of an agreement. One of the biggest challenges that we are facing in recruiting and retaining top faculty talent is the size and the quality of our research and teaching facilities. Addressing this challenge is a Herculean task, given the needs that exist and the little that has been done over decades. A good first sign of progress was the opening of the new Engineering Innovation Building, which is home to Chicago's only high-bay structural research lab, a unique facility in support of our civil engineering and structural programs, as well as new wet labs for chemical and mechanical engineering. The facility highlights the need for investment in engineering's rapidly growing academic and research efforts. The new building, as well as a second much-needed computing center, funded primarily by the state's capital bill, and again, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Senator, for the work that you did on the capital bill, and also some private donations, are currently under engineering design and will enable us to give our students and faculty the state-of-the-art spaces that they need to learn, discover, and innovate. Furthermore, planned expansion of UIC's Innovation Center, funded by the state again through the DPI, the Discovery Partners Institute group, will double the size of our corporate collaboration space used for joint projects with BMW, with Caterpillar, and with the Order of St. Francis Healthcare System, among many others. And as you can see in the pictures there, work has already started in this one. We're also nearing completion of the construction of a robotic surgery training center, partially funded by the Bruno and Sally Pasquanelli Family Foundation. Robotic surgery is one of the most innovative clinical programs at UA Health and is the only robotic surgery certification program in the country designated as a National Center of Excellence. The program has had many firsts, not in the country, but in the world, including the first robotic lung resection, the first robotic liver resection, and the first robotic middle pancreatectomy. And it should come as no surprise that our program and its leader, Dr. Piero Giulianotti, were recently highlighted in a feature story by the New Yorker magazine. Those of you who know how New Yorker works, it's impossible to get a feature story there. The state's very strong support for UAC and the Discovery Partners Institute, combined with our innovative use of public-private partnerships, allows us to continue to move forward with the implementation of our capital master plan. The state supported Advanced Chemical Technology Building and the Drug Discovery and Innovation Building are currently, and these are both top-notch research facilities, are currently under engineering design, while this phase is almost completed for the privately and hospital-funded outpatient surgery center and the hospital's new atrium. And while I'm very grateful to the state, I'm also encouraged by signs of success we had recently with respect to fundraising for our facilities from private funds. I'm referring to a new, so new that we haven't announced it yet, 10 million gift from the Bruno and Sally Pasquanelli Family Foundation that will support the new outpatient surgery center, an additional 10 million in private funding raised by engineering and pharmacy for their facilities, 5 million provided by Christine Schwartz to nursing to renovate and expand the simulation lab that we will cut the ribbon in it next week, and 10 million raised in clinical revenue by pharmacy for the Drug Discovery Center. Put all this together, and we are at 35 million in the last year and a half for facilities, which in my book is just a good first step. And if all of this gets you excited and you wonder what is next beyond our infrastructure in research, stay tuned this year as we launch 4 university research institutes to further drive discovery and coordinate our efforts towards big center grants in 4 of our areas of strength, as we continue to pursue NCI designation for our cancer center, as we further enhance our effort in support of the thematic areas of the Discovery Partners Institute, and as we initiate a much-needed internal grant program to support scholarship in the arts and the humanities. The work of our faculty and the quality and value of our programs have been recognized in several recent rankings, bringing national visibility to UIC. Now, let's make something clear. We don't like rankings, and as long as we remain focused on our mission and achieving our goals, we don't care about rankings. But we get a kick out of them when they manage to get it right. So this is why we like the Wall Street Journal and Times of Higher Education, which for the second year in a row have ranked UIC in the top 10 list of best values of the nation's universities, the only Illinois university recognized by the Wall Street Journal in this category. We are also the Dean of Engineering, by the way, has this picture in his signature, so wherever he sends an email, the alumni get it, they see it. We were also pleased to see that in the overall ranking of more than 340 public universities in the United States, the Wall Street Journal placed UAC tied with Michigan State for number 21. And we'll keep this slide up so you can see who is below us. Money Magazine's 2019-2020 rankings also listed UAC in the top 10 list of most transformative colleges in the nation. The ranking looks at colleges based on graduation rates, earnings, and student loan repayment, when students, and that's a direct quote from Money Magazine, beat the odds by doing better than would be expected from their academic and economic backgrounds. Yes, our students beat the odds, and they beat the odds every day, every month, and every year. And even US News got it right and ranked us number 14 in social mobility in the entire country, and in doing so they recognize what a strong and broad social ladder of advancement UIC has been and continues to be. For over 5 decades now, UIC is making a difference in Chicago and throughout the state, consistent with the land-grant mission of the University of Illinois. Last year was no exception as we continued our efforts to improve our communities and to support health and wellness for all. One example of how we, and we is you actually, the faculty and the staff make a difference, just came to me yesterday from the College of Education with the announcement of a $3.8 million Department of Education grant to Professor Kathy Main. Partnering with several Chicago community-based organizations, Professor Main and her team will prepare and support much-needed early childhood educators and will create multiple pathways to licensure for individuals already working with young children and families in their communities. Early childhood education, a licensure, it's a hot issue right now in Chicago, and here we are right at the forefront with a big sum of money coming from the Department of Education. Similarly, through a $2.4 million Department of Defense grant, the UIC's Voorhees Center for Neighborhood and Community Improvement is conducting work focusing on the resiliency of Illinois' military-dependent communities. And through Project Stage, faculty in UIC's School of Theater and Music and in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction are partnering with Chicago Public Schools teachers to empower young science learners with a platform to develop and communicate their thinking around science ideas and social change. The Jane Addams College of Social Work is partnering with community leaders and Illinois state agencies, a number of Illinois state agencies, in several projects as they address human trafficking and the opioid crisis, as they support adults transitioning from institutions to communities, and as they enhance the well-being of children residing in foster care. Researchers from UIC's Great Cities Institute earlier this year released a report on the changing nature of gang violence in Chicago and on the need for policies and policymakers to adjust how Chicago addresses violence. And finally, our public health researchers are analyzing how climate change is affecting the health of citizens in Illinois, and at a national level, they're investigating what is driving the spike in black lung disease among coal miners. These are just a few examples of UIC's impact in improving lives around us. At the same time, the impact of our healthcare delivery system is felt by hundreds of thousands of our patients every year, as our healthcare providers both save lives and improve the quality of lives every day. Just last year alone, we treated close to 19,000 hospitalized patients, while over half a million crossed the doors of our clinics, and almost 50,000 others visited our emergency rooms. Our Miles Square Health Center added another 100,000 patient visits through its main facility on Roosevelt and a network of 11 clinics, including 6 school-based ones. One of them, and I think that's one of the pictures that you see up there, is the Cynthia Barnes Boyd Drake Health and Wellness Center, a renovated school-based community health center on Chicago's South Side, which opened its doors to patients last March. This clinic is located in the site of the John Drake Elementary School, which is part of CPS. And while most of you know about the hospital in Miles Square, I suspect that very few people know that UIC's College of Dentistry is Illinois' largest provider of dental care. Last year, they addressed the dental care needs of over 35,000 patients and performed over 300,000 treatments and procedures. And they improved access to dental care where is needed the most by providing more than 70,000 appointments annually to patients enrolled in the state dental Medicaid program. In fact, 98% of the children that they are treated by the UIC's dental clinics are Medicaid enrolled or Medicaid eligible. 90% of the children that they see. This is what you call commitment to access to health care. The same commitment is unambiguously shared by our health science students, 10 of which last year were selected for Schweitzer fellowships to address the health needs of underserved Chicago communities. In collaboration with existing community organizations, each fellow will launch a community-based project providing 200 hours of service on top of everything else they do at the university. In addition to caring for people, we're also committed to caring for the environment. This year, the UIC Office of Sustainability won a 2019 Emerald Award for organizational leadership from the Illinois Green Alliance for our Climate Action Implementation Plan. This plan provides a long-term strategy to make our operations more efficient and conserve resources with an ultimate goal of becoming carbon neutral. And once again this year, UIC was named a voter-friendly campus. As the only public university in Illinois to receive this designation from the Fair Election Center, the Campus Vote Project, UIC continues to show its commitment to developing lifelong, active community leaders and engaged citizens. This is the 4th year in a row that we are recognized as a voter-friendly campus. Many of you have heard me in the past talking about the rapidly shifting landscape in higher education and in healthcare delivery. It is clear that significant changes are needed in both sectors to meet the public's expectations for the services we provide and for their associated costs. It is also clear that institutions which remain entrenched in their way of doing business and resist change in their operation will fail in meeting the public's expectations and will suffer the consequences. I believe that one of the main reasons we have built the momentum we currently have and we are in our current position is our ability and willingness in the last few years to innovate as we build a more entrepreneurial and resilient university for the future. We are changing the way we operate by reducing costs, by aligning resource allocation with institutional priorities, and by building new public-private partnerships. As a result, we have been able to build the academic and residential complex, the first public-private partnership in the University of Illinois system, and we are working on additional P3 projects, including the Ignite Student Service Center and the Outpatient Surgery Center. Our decision this year to create the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Innovation highlights the importance of innovation beyond the research arena and organizes UIC's innovation portfolio under one roof. The office is focused on creating initiatives across the university that support technology, commercialization, entrepreneurship, and collaboration with the private sector. We also recognize the importance of access to online education, especially for working adults. We're in the last stage of negotiating an agreement of another public-private partnership with an outside partner to enhance the growth of our online programs across 13 colleges. And as I mentioned before, we would not have seen the recent growth in international undergraduate students without the partnership that we built with Shorelight. Finally, by collaborating with Deerfield Management, we'll be able to accelerate the commercialization of promising therapeutics developed at UIC through West Loop Innovations LLC, and this P3 partnership will benefit both the faculty members involved but also UIC's entire research enterprise, which is the ultimate recipient of the financial returns that we get. This is what innovation in action looks like, and this is why I can say today confidently that we are succeeding in building an entrepreneurial university in support of our mission. So, to answer the central question of today's address, what is the state of the university? I believe that the current state of the university is excellent. We're improving the student experience as they're becoming successful professionals and active citizens. We are recognized as a hub of research innovation performed by world-class faculty. We continue to expand the meaning of community engagement as we improve the quality of life around us, and we are adapting to change as we build a more entrepreneurial university for the future. Not only have we escaped forward, but we have become trailblazers in the higher education landscape. We challenge the status quo. We forge new paths and we set an example for others to follow. These are really exciting times for UIC. I want to thank you for your support. It is an honor and a privilege to serve as your chancellors. Go Flames!
No matter how when you turn up the heat,